Okay, Nick and Andy, let's talk about let's call it top five finish now in the Premier League, because for so long we talk about top four, but it feels like now with how well teams are doing in the Champions League and Europe and generally from the Premier League, they're going to get that extra Champions League spot this season. So let's focus on that incredible scrap developing, Nick. And I mean, Arsenal, City and Villa look like they pretty much got the top five spot locked up there. But after that, I mean, who's going to join them? I mean, who do you fancy? Because there are so many variables here, but this is going to be a major storyline for everyone to focus on in the final months of the season.
Well, I mean, let's start here, and I wonder if I can just get you guys to nod in agreement or if it's more complicated than this. Liverpool should make it. There really isn't a reason, unless they get so dogged down with the Champions League and focus, and it somehow slips away from them and they lose all their big. But I look at the certainty and the experience and the age, and I know they still need a center back, but I just feel like Liverpool, if you're comparing them with Man United and Chelsea, they have to have the intangibles. And after that, I mean, whatever. Man United fans are on a high right now. So I guess I would tell you Chelsea and Liverpool, just because is Man United really going to rip off 16 straight wins here? Is Michael Carrick really the Northeast England Mourinho?
Well, I don't know about that, but he's had a great start, Andy. And I think the one advantage that Man United have is that they don't have Europe, right? So I think that's the one kind of bit of positivity for them, that they can, even though they don't keep this winning run going for much longer, that they can, over the course of the last few months of the season, pick up enough wins against the teams they should beat and be fresh and all the rest of it. I kind of agree on the Liverpool point in terms of if injuries calm down. Chelsea are looking good as well for me. I think Rossini has come in and kind of just been very pragmatic and been very honest that, hey, I don't have a lot of time to work on the training ground and to implement new ideas. There wasn't an awful lot wrong to start with, but I'm just going to make us a bit tougher to beat and kind of just be a bit more clinical. And I do like what he's done there. But there's some real outsiders involved in this scrap as well. So I'm looking, I can make an argument for about 6 or 7 teams for those 2 spots that we think are up for the Champions League.
Yeah, Nick, it sounds like you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, United kind of in that order of, 4 through 6.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean that way.
Okay. I think I'm the complete opposite. I feel the least certain about Liverpool at this point because, one, the injuries that we have seen the last couple seasons. When injuries start to hit a squad and you get down to bare bones with the players that are available and they're playing every game on multiple fronts, those players are then going to get injured about the time that the injured players come back. I'm talking about Tottenham Hotspur, of course, and other clubs in the Premier League. But the demands on the players are so great these days that after a season like Liverpool had last year, I don't think it should be a huge surprise to see this happening to them. And it's a bit of a veteran squad. They've got a couple of days left. I think they need to be the most active in the transfer window and get in, like you said, Nick, a defender. And that's before taking in, Konate's contract expiring into the equation. We've known since, I don't know, the end of the summer transfer window that they were a defender or 2 short, and they've just not addressed it. I like Liverpool. I like United for what you mentioned, Joe, no European competition. But I think that they've got a bunch of players that up until the last couple of games under Carrick, they've all underperformed this season, and they are starting to flourish all of a sudden under Michael Carrick. And Mbumo, Cunha was fantastic in the last game, and it just feels like all of those pieces are falling into the right spots now, and they're kind of becoming the counter-attacking team we expected of them in the summer, and that Ruben Amorim just was never going to let them be.
I'm going to chuck another 2 teams out there that might seem a bit wild at the moment, but Fulham and Brentford aren't very far away from this when you look at the table. And if you look at their remaining schedules, decent. That's all I'm going to say for them to pick up a lot of points. And again, in this crazy season of how tight it is, and a lot of those teams we mentioned are going to probably go very deep in Europe, who are pushing for the top 5. I don't know. I feel like this is the season where we might get something weird and wonderful happening. And especially Fulham, they're just a very hard team to play against and always seem to keep kind of grinding out results. We talked about this before, the XG kind of overachievers over the last few seasons. But there's something about this season that says right up until the end, those 2 teams at least one of them could be right in the hunt for 5th place. Am I crazy there? I mean, help me out.
Yes and no. If Harry Wilson really genuinely is suddenly the player that Liverpool thought he was going to be when he was 18 or 19 or whenever that happened, then yes. And I don't want to discount that, because right now he looks phenomenal, but they're still not getting true center forward production. Obviously there's some time to address that. I do like Kevin and Chukwueze, and there are other encouraging signs that they may be making. And I do like their backs. I don't think they can control the midfield right now. Brentford for me are a couple pieces away, maybe still, but I like where they're getting at. I would actually take you down to 9th and 10th place.
Okay, I'm glad you did.
So the Jack Grealish injury is a major bummer, but Everton have been functioning. Everton have been functioning this year without Jared Branthwaite, who came back and immediately looked great. They navigated AFCON without Ganagwe, who looked awesome the last game. Garner has settled into a role there. Njai was gone as well. Rook Bunham has looked bright. Like, I think this is turning into a David Moyes special, and so that wouldn't surprise me. And also, if Newcastle go out of the Champions League in the playoff round, which is possible depending on who they draw, and they become a single team, I probably like them actually a little bit better than Man United. I mean, you guys know I'm a little biased, but I really do think if they don't have Champions League to worry about, they'll be right there.
I can't help but notice you didn't go down to 11th place Sunderland there, Nick.
How could I? They're under.
With Newcastle, I was looking at their remaining schedule, and that's my only concern with them, that they do have a lot of big games, but they seem to rise to those as well.
Yeah. That's helpful when you're the chasing team, though. They do have the feeling of a team that's been stretched too thin this season. The squad's just not big enough to be competing in the Champions League now that it's 8 games, and the fact that they're even within reach at this point of the season. I think Eddie Howe, you could probably say, he's done a better job than he'll get credit for at this point, which is kind of what the job is for being a European aspiring team in the Premier League. And so I think I would put them, if they go out of the Champions League in the playoff, I think I'd even put them above Liverpool, and right there on par with Chelsea in that grouping for kind of 4 or 5.
Wow.
I guess real quick, I just think Liverpool have too many players that take those other teams we're talking about. Maybe take Bruno Guimaraes out of the picture, okay? Maybe Branthwaite out of the picture. Liverpool have 5, 6, 7 players. If you put them on those other teams, they're instantly their best player. Soboslai's been a game changer. McAllister's out of form, but when he's been at his best, it's all at the back there. It's all at the back. And if they can get average play, if they can get 6 out of 10, if we're doing player ratings from their back line, I just think there are too many difference makers for them not to grab enough points to be in the top 5.
I'm going with Chelsea and Manchester United. I think those two Man United, like I said, I love the way they're set up. Very back to basics. Let's use the strengths of the players we have to the best of their ability. And Michael Carrick's done a wonderful job there. And again, extra rest, all the rest of it, let's not discount that. And then Chelsea, much to your point about Liverpool, Nick, I just think there's too much quality there, and there's just game changers and game winners there. And Liverpool, just the injuries and just all season long the defensive mistakes. I just don't think they're going to be able to overcome that. It'll be very close, which is why I'm excited. And again, talking about Brentford, Fulham, Everton, I think they're going to be right there as well. And this is the new kind of, I guess, the new order, right, in terms of the Premier League, just general chaos outside the top 2 or 3. And I also think Villa will hang in there. I mean, there are enough of a gap there. They're playing well, made some big additions so far in the January window that I do think they're going to stick around. But, with them, the Europa League and how serious they take that, at one point or another, they're going to have to focus on League or Europa League. But Unai Emery, usually does a pretty good job at rotating around there. So head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest on this incredible race developing for the Champions League spots, which we think is going to include 5th place this season. So instead of who's going to finish in the top 4, let's think about who's going to finish in the top 5, and it could be almost half the league at this point. So it's going to be really exciting.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.